Today we're going to go over adjusting the upper and lower seats on PRV-09, which is a pressure reducing valve made by Sensus. We're going to go ahead and get started. First we want to remove the top spring and take apart any pressure that's been applied to the bottom two seats. So we have the upper cap, which is held by a top hat, which has the adjustment spring on it. And we have the spring hat. And the spring itself, springs are designated by colors, and there'll be different pressure ratings with the colors, which are notated on the tag on the top hat of the pressure valve. The two seats are located in the lower body of the valve. This is the upper seat, and the lower seat already removed. This is the upper seat of the valve. The manufacturer requires that you rotate the upper seat all the way till it hits the main shaft, then back off 1/2 to 1 complete turn so you have access to the locking screw, which is just a 1/4 20 socket head cap screw. If we need to remove this seat, you can remove the lower seat and gain access and pull the upper seat through the bottom of the valve. Next, we're going to put the lower seat, which you can see they're a soft seat, a rubber seat, and we're going to thread the lower seat onto the upper seat. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread the lower seat onto the main shaft of the valve, which will thread into the bottom of here. And as we're threading that in there, I'm going to be aware of the location of the slide to get it aligned with the lower cap. And this is basically an anti-rotation device for the two seats. And the slot will line up with this. The slot will line up in the lower cap. I like to use 1 drop of light oil just to give me a little lubrication on the threads, because we have two similar metals. And be aware not to nick or damage the lower seat as you're threading this on. The manufacturer requires you to seat the upper seat. So I'm applying a force upwards so I know that the seat itself is sealed, and then I'm going to adjust this lower seat until I make contact. There we go. Just going to double check it. And now I'm pushing the lower one until I have good resistance. So just to verify, all my force is coming from the lower stem. So I'm pushing up. I cannot rotate. I do go until I can't rotate the lower. The upper I can rotate, so I'm going to back off. Can't rotate the upper, and I can't rotate the lower. So right there. So I'm going to lock it in place. the 5/32 Allen head. Now I'm just going to double check it. Yeah, it's locked down. Good deal. All the surfaces have been cleaned. We're going to put a little O-ring lube. Never put the O-rings back in dry. A real small coat of lube on this O-ring.
What kind of lube is that?
Just basic Parker O-ring lube. Okay. You can see we're a 1/2 turn, so we have access to the Allen key. Feels good. We'll line up our key. Then we'll torque these down in a star pattern and then finishing them up with a circular pattern to verify tightness. Alright. They're good. Okay. Same thing with the side caps. Let's get a little O-ring lube on the O-rings to prevent any kinking. Now we're going to throw a little dab of anti-seize on the threads. Make it a little easier for the next guy that's got to do this. Now we're going to put together the spring assembly in the upper portion of the valve. Always check the bellows for any damage, tears, or nicks before we reinstall the spring. I've already prepared the side of it, making sure everything's clean and spotless. Put a little anti-seize on the threads itself. I like to get a good alignment, then I'll run it down, get it close. So the way we're going to adjust this regulator, we have our inlet supply coming from the factory, plant, etc. And we use the PRV to reduce the pressure for the boiler consumption. There's a jam nut right here, so we use 15/16 and release a jam nut. And we will tighten the spring to increase our output pressure, or we loosen the spring to decrease the output pressure. As I tighten the stem nut to increase spring tension, we are going to increase the output gas pressure. Based on the boiler's consumption, we'll watch our output gauge right by the tracing line as we increase or decrease the output pressure by the spring adjustment on the top of the PRV.